Short one today, let's talk about alliances. Alliances in Stellaris are very different to what they are in any other Paradox game. In Stellaris, they are multilateral rather than bilateral, so they're a bit like NATO. This means you can't just declare war and expect your allies to jump in, unlike in EU4 or, for instance, Crusader Kings 2. Instead, they must agree to your war, or no war for you, sorry. So this presents players with an interesting trade-off. You could have no alliance and have the freedom over war and peace and who you go and harass or whatever. Or you can have an alliance and be restricted by your allies in terms of foreign policy. However, you can give your allies offerings to persuade them to join your war. You can offer planets or vassals in exchange, for instance, which means that you will ultimately be sharing victory a lot more if you decide to go the alliance route, making it practically impossible to do the tactic possible in other Paradox games of getting your allies to do the dying while you reap the rewards. Not that a person like myself would ever resort to such a tactic. You can also leave an alliance at any time, provided you are at peace. But there is another way. If your alliance works well, then you can integrate with your allies and form a federation. Star Trek, Star Wars. Of course, this is like a real life federation. There are pros and cons to this. On one hand, you have a president who can carry out actions with impunity, thus removing the issue of having to have a war that benefits everyone in an alliance. However, this presidency rotates between the members of the Federation, meaning that for long periods of time, you and other members will have zero say over your foreign policy. Just so you know, from looking at the images, the president seems to rotate every 5 years. So, for people in an alliance, 15 years where you go without being able to make any decisions. Additionally, you get a Federation fleet made of ships using the best technology from all of the members. And this is on top of each member's fleet. The president designs and controls this fleet, and it's not shared about. Finally, it's quite obvious, but federations are going to be best suited for those empires that have allies of a similar strength. You're not going to want to trade in your ability to make foreign policy decisions just to help out or bring into a federation a tiny state, unless of course you want to roleplay that. And it's also going to be most useful for those people facing a large dangerous foe on their border and they realise that they've got to band together to fight it. However, nothing is stopping you from role-playing the hell out of it and going full Star Trek or even Star Wars on that Federation. Now, we don't know exactly if there's any way to bring people into a Federation or how easy it is to leave a Federation, but we might find out more about that in some of the next parts. I hope you enjoyed this, I hope it was informative. Next week we're going to be talking about multiplayer, so join me again for that. Subscribe so you don't miss it.